Hi everyone, this is a video in which we're going to just look at 6 basic functions that you need to know for this course. And so this video is just going to introduce the functions. Again, you have seen all of these functions before, so none of them should be a surprise. I'm going to use Desmos to graph the functions so we can take a look at what they look like. So the first function is the identity function. So just f of x equals x. So this is a straight line going through the origin 0, 0, and whatever x value we choose, for example 2, has a y value of 2. So that's our first function. Our second function is quadratic, f of x equals x squared. So this is just a parabola opening upwards. The next function is f of x equals x cubed. And again, as x gets very, very large, the function goes to infinity. As x gets very, very small, the function goes to negative infinity. It goes through the origin 0, 0. And if we look at a couple of points, for example, when we plug in 1, f of 1 is just 1, f of 2 is 8, f of negative 1 is negative 1, f of negative 2 is negative 8. The next function is the square root of x. So this function is not defined for x less than 0. You can see in the graph that it doesn't appear. And then to the right of 0, it's the square root. So f of 1 is 1, f of 4 is 2, f of 9 is 3, and so on. The next function is the cube root of x, which I'm going to write as f of x to the 1/3. This looks a little bit like the square root function, except now it is defined for negative numbers. Again, f of 0 is 0, f of 1 is 1, f of negative 1 is negative 1. To get 2, f of 8 is 2, f of negative 8 is negative 2, and so on. The last function is the absolute value. And again, this has this kink in it at 0, so this is always the positive number. So f of 1 is 1, f of 2 is 2, f of negative 1 is 1, f of negative 2 is 2, and so on. So this function is just the positive value. If f of x is greater than 0, then this is just the identity function. If f of x is less than 0, this is the opposite of the identity function.